Hello everyone, welcome to EDUCARE Teaching Learning channel. Thank you for all my subscribers. Those who are watching my videos without subscribing, please subscribe and watch my videos. Your support is my strength. Let's go to our channel. Story of the day. Once there lived a group of fishes in a pond. All those fishes used to live very happily. But there was one fish who used to always grumble that this place is so congested, we have to go for a new place and so on. It is not satisfied with the place it is living. One day a fisherman came and fortunately or unfortunately for the fish who was grumbling was taken to a new place, new pond, and this fish is being shifted there. Where there are no other companions for it, the fish was living alone. But it was an advantage for the fish that it was so happy that it is not among others, it can live solitary, very independently, so that's a new place and it was like very free. All the food only it can get, only the only fish which can get all the food, the only fish which has all the freedom, everything. But there was a twist here. The fish lived there in the separate pond happily only for 3 months. After 3 months, the fisherman was again taken that and dropped it into the same old pond. The fish was grumbling for that again. Again I came back to the old place where there were so many other fishes. I am not interested to live among such fishes. I have to be alone. I was happily living independently in that small pond. It used to grumble. There was one older fish who was listening to this grumbling and came to this small fish and said, "What is your problem?" The fish explained what it is. Then the old fish said, "How many days you were staying in that pond?" The fish replied, "It was only 3 months. But it was very happy, it seems." There, the fish said, the small fish said. But the old fish has replied that happiness, whatever you faced there, was alone. And you were all alone. You were enjoying it alone. That was temporary. When you are being shifted here you have to stay here for long days. That's permanent. So here, if you live among others, whatever happens to you, everybody will share your whatever it is. If it is a bitter experience, everybody will come and help you. If you are feeling sad, see, I have come to you and asked for a rescue. So whenever you are facing any trouble, whenever you want any suggestion, so many of us are there to help you. If you are like alone, if any trouble comes for you, if you are in some situation or in danger, nobody is there to help you. So please be happy in wherever you are. Whatever happiness you are getting, that might be just temporary. Assume the fish was there only for 3 months and those 3 months are winter season. After that, maybe it is summer season. Summer season, the fish will not live happily there as how it was in the pond. All the water gets evaporated due to the sun's heat and the fish will not have that chill environment whatever it is facing this 3 months alone. Again it will get since it is alone, it has to experience all the sun's heat and it has to experience that uncomfortable in that new pond. But if it is living in such a big old pond with all among fishes, the water may not get so evaporated so soon, isn't it? That was told by older fish. The temporary happiness, if we mind for temporary happiness, we may not get the permanent happiness that is waiting for us in the future. So this is a good moral for all of your students. Students, during your like education days, whenever you are studying, whenever you are educating, if you just want to focus on the temporary happiness like mobile phones, TV or other entertainment, media entertainment, you may not focus on permanent happiness. Our permanent happiness is our education. This builds our character, this builds our life in future. That's what is the moral of the story. Welcome back. In my today's video, I am going to teach Chapter 3 Genetics of ICSE Class 10 Biology. This is remaining part of Chapter 3 Genetics. Let's begin with deviations from Mendel's inheritance. What is deviation? Deviation is there are some topics or some laws which are against Mendel's law of inheritance. The first one is incomplete dominance. What is incomplete dominance? The two parental characters are not expressed, but new character is expressed. That is, if I am taking red color flower and white color flower, when I am crossing this in F1 hybrid generation, I have to get either red color flower or white color flower, but I am getting different color apart from red and white. How come this is possible? Is it not this is against Mendel's law? Yes, it is. Let us see an example. See, example is inheritance of flower color. So, parents are red and white. For red it is capital R and the gamete is capital R. For white it is small r and the gamete is small r. This is in recessive condition. So when they are crossing this, they have got capital R small r, which is pink in color. Actually they have to get either red or white, but they have got pink color flowers. When they are crossing this pink color flower, they have got capital R and small r as gametes. So now see the checkerboard. Checkerboard, they have got capital R and capital R small r, small r. This capital R is red color flower. This capital R small r is pink color flower. This capital R small r is even pink. Small r is white. So, according to Mendel, phenotypic ratio and genotypic ratio is for monohybrid cross, it is 3:1 for phenotypic ratio and genotypic ratio is 1:2:1. Let's see in incomplete dominance. The phenotypic ratio is 1:2:1. This 1 is capital R red color flower. This 2 is pink color flowers and this 1 is white color flower. Now, what is in genotypic ratio? Genotypic ratio, this capital R is homozygous dominant condition. This capital R small r is heterozygous dominant condition. Then small r is homozygous recessive condition. That is what is genotypic ratio 1:2:1. This 1 is homozygous dominant. This 2 is heterozygous dominant. This 1 is homozygous recessive. See, phenotypic ratio is also 1:2:1 and genotypic ratio is also 1:2:1. Is this applicable for Mendel's law? Never. Mendel has told phenotypic ratio is 3:1, but here we have got 1:2:1. Genotypic ratio is 1:2:1 only. So, since this is against Mendel's law, this doesn't comes under Mendel's law of inheritance. Let us see second one. Co-dominance. Co means together. No dominant and recessive relationship. In this co-dominance, nobody is dominant, nobody is recessive. Both are expressed equally. Both parents' characters equal in F1 hybrid. Let's see an example. ABO blood group in human beings. We all of us know we have 4 different types of blood groups in us. A blood group, B blood group, AB blood group and O blood group. Let's see that example. Let me take two parents as A blood group and B blood group. So A blood group will have I gene and raised to the power of A, which we call it as an allele. This is I gene. Raised to the power of A is allele. So this is your RBC cell. The RBC cell of A blood group will have A as surface antigen. Then B blood group will have I gene raised to the power of B and I gene raised to the power of B. Look at this RBC cell of B blood group. It has surface antigen B. When they both are crossed, they have got I raised to the power of A and I raised to the power of B in F1 hybrid, where look at the RBC cell, it has equally A and B antigens. So nobody is dominant, nobody is recessive. Both are expressed equally. That is what is codominance. So is this again applicable for Mendel's law? Definitely not. Mendel has told only one character is dominant over the other. That is what is Mendel's law of dominance. But this law is against Mendel's law. Continuing with deviation from Mendel's inheritance. The third one is multiple alleles. As the name says, two or more forms of a gene. A gene has two or more of its forms. Example, human blood group system. In human blood group system, this I gene, there are three alleles. Actually, I is a gene which has three alleles, A allele, B allele and O allele in ABO blood group system. Since three alleles are controlling one gene, it is called as a multiple allele. The fourth example is pleiotropic gene. What do you mean by pleiotropic? It's a gene which influences two or more unrelated phenotypic traits. Or I can, in simple words, I can say one gene controls more than one character. That is, one gene is responsible for two or more characters. What is that character? Let me take an example of sickle cell anemia. We all of us know anemia is blood related disorder. What is the shape of blood? Blood in the sense we have RBC. What is the shape of RBC? It is disc-like, biconcave shape. But this biconcave shape is getting converted to or changed to sickle shape. That is a blood related disorder it is. That is genetic disorders. That's because of genes. Example is sickle cell anemia. The gene that is responsible for this is HB. In the bracket it is smallest gene. For example, so this gene HB smallest gene controls three factors of RBC. Number one, hemoglobin synthesis is reduced to 50%. The production of hemoglobin is completely reduced. It is reduced into half to 50%. Number two, the shape of RBCs are changed from discoid to sickle cell. Number three, oxygen carrying capacity is reduced. The main role of RBC is oxygen carrying. RBC carries oxygen to all parts of the body along with lungs. Respiration occurs, purification of blood occurs only when blood is mixed with oxygen. But that main vital role is being reduced. That is why this is a disorder. This is all these two is against Mendel's law of inheritance. The next topic is sex-linked inheritance. As the name says, it is sex-linked. It is linked with genes, sex-linked genes or sex chromosomes, which is your X and Y. If those traits of genes carried by X chromosome, it is X-linked inheritance. Example, hemophilia, color blindness. If those traits of genes carried by Y chromosome, it is Y-linked inheritance. So there are two types of inheritance. If the inheritance character or trait is carried by X gene, X chromosome, it is X-linked inheritance. If the same thing, same traits are carried by Y chromosome, it is Y-linked inheritance. See, sex-linked inheritance is divided into X-linked and Y-linked. X-linked is because of the gene present in X chromosome. Y-linked is because of the gene present in Y chromosome. The X-linked is two types again, dominant and recessive. For your ICSE syllabus, you have only X-linked recessive, not even dominant, and you don't have any explanation in your textbook about Y-linked and examples. So let's discuss only X-linked recessive types of inheritance with examples. So the first one, as I said, is hemophilia. What is hemophilia? The hemophilic patient is unable to clot. Hemophilia, if blood is unable to clot, definitely the whole blood from the body, when they get injury, may lost and the person may become anemic. Let us see. So this is the normal blood vessel or blood cell. So hemorrhage, any damage happens to it. If it is hemophilic condition, there is no blood clotting. Let's see here. This is the cross, actually there is no space. I have written it here. Let's see the hemophilic patient or hemophilic mother which has X chromosome. Since it is X-linked inheritance, X and X mother, one of the gene is hemophilic. It's a carrier of the disease, is crossed with normal father, that is X and Y chromosome. The gametes are X and X to the raised to the power H gene, H allele, and here X and Y genes are there. So when they are crossing this, in the first generation, X and X chromosome, they may get normal girl, and there is a chance of carrier girl of this hemophilic disease, that is XH and X carrier. Next, X and Y, there is a chance of normal boy, and then in the next one, X and Y, where X carries, since it is X linked, the hemophilic or the allele will be in the X only. So XH, that is hemophilic girl. There is a chance of hemophilic girl. That's the first example, hemophilia. Next is color blindness. Color blindness means unable to differentiate colors, especially red and green color. When they see red color, they'll get confused. They can able to see it is like green color. If they are seeing green color, they will assume it as a red color. That's color blindness. They cannot differentiate colors. Since it is recessive, as I already said, X-linked recessive. Since it is recessive, a mother may carry the disease and transmit 50% to its son, though father is normal. Mother is only carrying the disease because it is X-linked inheritance. So mother will transmit to the son, not for the daughter. Continuing with color blindness, see the cross. Color blinded man marries a woman who is a carrier. Look at this cross. This is women, that is X and X chromosome. In that, one gene contains a allele, that is carrier of color blinded. Is married to color blinded man, that is X. A gene of the man has C, that is C allele, color blind allele, and Y. So the gametes are capital X with a C allele, color blinded allele. Then here capital X with color blinded allele and Y chromosome. Now the gametes are X and X, a carrier of the disease. Then XY is normal boy. Then X and X is both genes has small c allele, that is color blinded girl. Whereas here X small c and then capital Y, it is color blinded boy. So the mother who is a carrier of color blinded marries a color blinded man who will give out color blinded girl and color blinded boy definitely. So that's the end of Mendel's sex linked inheritance. Next, pedigree analysis. Pedigree means a family chart. A pedigree chart displays a family tree and shows the members of family affected. If at all there is any disease, any genetic disorders like hemophilia, color blindness, tongue roller, whatever it is, doctors used to draw a pedigree chart. Likewise, they will see the genes of grandfather married to a grandmother. Their both genes comes to father and mother and their siblings. And they will check who has this gene which is the carrier of that particular disease. That's how they analyze whether the next trait or next generation will have or will be the carrier of this particular disease. That is what is pedigree analysis. Let's see an example. Tongue rollers. Tongue rollers, we'll see there are few people, almost there are many who has an ability to roll their tongue. But there are very few people who cannot roll. So, the non-tongue rollers are recessive and the tongue rollers are dominant. When the heterozygous dominant tongue rollers are crossed with heterozygous dominant tongue rollers, let's see what will be the possible gametes in the F1 generation. This is what is F1 generation. Capital R, small r, tongue rollers is crossed with capital R, small r, tongue rollers. In F2 generation, he has got capital R, which is tongue roller, capital R, small r, tongue roller, capital R, small r, tongue rollers, and recessive small r, non-tongue rollers. This is what is pedigree analysis. So there ends Mendel's law of inheritance and sex links to inheritance. So coming to the end of this chapter, where are we using this genetics? Number 1, in genetic engineering. What is this engineering? We are going to, the genetic makeup of an organism is completely altered by introducing new genes. If we are going to introduce new genes, as I already said, we are going to add any one gene which we need. The particular character which we need to insert into a human being or for a plant or for an animal, we are introducing it, we are altering the gene makeup or gene sequence. That is what is genetic engineering. So new varieties of food grains we can prepare from genetic engineering. New varieties of food grains which is beneficial for the farmers or commercial people. Next, new varieties of fruits. Nowadays we are getting only hybrid varieties of fruits. Then vegetables have been modified by this method, which we call it as GMO, genetically modified food or genetically modified plant. Then not only plants, even animal breeds are possible by this method. They are Zors. That's a new variety. That is a fusion of zebra and horse. Next, Tigon is a new variety by the fusion of tiger and lion. Next, Zeep. It's a fusion of goat and sheep. Next, Liger. It is a fusion of lion and tiger. Next, Buffalo. It's a fusion of bison and buffalo. A new variety is been arrived. Next, Zenki. It's a fusion of zebra and donkey. So the hybrid one will be more powerful than the original parents actually. That is why the commercial people, GMO modified plants, animals are highly preferable in the market. So this is how genetics works. Nowadays in the field, in the market, this genetically modified plants, animals are in current rate actually. So that's the end of this chapter. Hope all of you understood and all of you are very clear with this difficult chapter, genetics. I have helped you and explained you each and every line in detail very clearly, I suppose. So if you like my videos, please like, share it to your friends and don't forget to comment. Please subscribe my channel. Your support is my strength. Thank you.